This is freaking insane. This is getting so out of hand. I'm sure you've heard about the controversy surrounding former FBI Director James Comey, who is now under criminal investigation by the Secret Service for having been on a beach, taking a bunch of seashells and arranging them to spell out the numbers 8647, meaning 8647. 47 referring to Donald Trump, the 47th president of the United States, and 86, the term used to mean to cancel something, to end something. It means different things in different contexts. It's most frequently associated with people in the restaurant industry, right? You might have heard it on shows having to do with restaurants and things. Well, they'll say 86 the steak, for example, meaning we don't have steak anymore, so that's no longer a menu item. It's been 86'd, or 86 that order, cancel that order, or something along those lines. If you haven't seen the picture that James Comey posted, let me pull it up here for you real quick. Here's what he posted. I think he posted it originally on Twitter. He has since taken it down because of all the controversy. You could see that there. Seashells in the sand, 8647. And these mindless Trump cultists who constantly accuse other people of being snowflakes are freaking out, claiming, and of course they're lying, they know that this isn't the case, but claiming that James Comey meant this as a death threat. That 86 means to, get rid of him, like that. Of course, no rational, reasonable person would take that picture of those seashells saying 8647 and take that as a death threat. Are we seriously going to play this stupid game? But apparently so. Because this is what plays on Fox News. This is what plays in Trump propaganda media. They live for this kind of stuff. They're the victims. Everyone's trying to get Donald Trump. Everybody's trying to get MAGA unfairly. This is such... I'm going to try to refrain from using the words that I really want to use to describe these people. But what's so funny, and like I said, he is under criminal investigation by the Secret Service. He was picked up and taken by the Secret Service voluntarily. He went voluntarily for an interview about this. Fucking seashells. This is so absurd, especially given everything that we've seen the MAGA cult in recent years, even before they were actually the Trump cult, even going back to the Obama administration, before Donald Trump had turned the Republican Party into a personality cult in his service. I remember distinctly many actual threats of violence against Barack Obama. I remember gallows, and I remember, Obama being hanged in effigy, and all kinds of horrible things that clearly, and some not so clearly, but you clearly understood the meaning of violence against the former president. And what's also ironic is this exact same thing, the 8647. They did the exact same thing with Joe Biden. Let me pull up a couple things. If you just put 8646, which would be 8646, meaning Joe Biden, the 46th president. If you put that in Twitter, because Twitter, that shithole where this all got started, is where Comey posted his image. If you put 8646 in the search bar on Twitter, you will get a whole bunch of stuff. For example, let's look at this. This is a link to Amazon, it appears to be. Yeah, this is Amazon. All kinds of merchandise being sold with the numbers 8646, referring to Biden. All kinds of stuff, page after page of merchandise you can get with 8646. Nobody had a problem with that. Joe Biden didn't send the Secret Service to opening criminal investigations against all these people selling 8646 merchandise on Amazon. You know, Biden didn't attempt to shut down Amazon or put them out of business for selling this merchandise. Here's another one here. This is a big Trump cult account, Jack Posobiec. He is a far-right nutcase. Here he is posting back in January of 2022, 8646. I don't recall this dirtbag being investigated by Secret Service. Anything else here? You could just, there's some more merch. There's tons of stuff. There's lots of stuff. They said this against Joe Biden, and this is, nobody believed at the time that anybody posting 8646 was making a threat on the life of President Joe Biden. It is absurd. Okay, when I saw this, I saw the headlines about Comey being investigated, or at that time, calls for his investigation for death threats against the president. I'm like, what in the freak? And I'm no Comey fan. I can't stand Comey. Comey is one of the reasons Donald Trump is president. All right, he sabotaged Hillary Clinton's campaign, and if it wasn't for him, Donald Trump never would have been elected, and we wouldn't be going through this. So I have no love for that piece of shit. But he certainly wasn't calling for violence. So when I saw those headlines, I'm like, what's going on here? Take a look at it. I'm like, are you friggin' serious? 8647 is a death threat? I took it to mean we need to end this presidency. We need to impeach him. We need to remove him. That's what I took it, because to me, that means cancel. To end the Trump administration. And we actually have a legal process for doing that. It's called impeachment and removal. That's what I thought he was talking about. I would never have thought that meant he wanted, calling for the murder of the guy. This is so ridiculous. And this is how ridiculous it is. And as I said, this is what plays on Fox News. So let's watch a clip from Fox News. This guy is a colossal scumbag, actually two scumbags talking to each other. Joe Concha, a Fox News contributor, talking with Jesse Waters. These two are just loathsome, dregs of society, these two. Anyways, listen to what this Joe Concha says. It's so over the top and ridiculous. Here's his reaction to the 8647 controversy.
His wife should be spoken to. He should be arrested. End of story. No more of this. No more of this.
Yeah, and
we can't have rhetoric like this anymore.
Yeah, the media is saying it's just bartender slang. That's all.
Are you freaking kidding me? No more of this. Good freaking. Here's the thing. We can't keep going on like this. Things cannot continue like this. Something is going to give. We are so deeply divided over politics, and this isn't even about issues. This is insanity. This is ridiculous. The hatred, that's what motivates these and unites these lunatics on the right, these MAGA cultists. It's hate. It's just visceral, unreasonable, illogical, and uncontrollable hate. I mean, let's listen to this guy. This man is just dripping with hate.
He should be spoken to. He should be arrested. End of story. No more of this. No more of this.
Yeah, and
we can't have rhetoric like this anymore.
Yeah.
Are you freaking kidding me? We're literally talking about seashells and numbers. This is just, it's just insanity. We cannot, the two sides cannot coexist like this. I don't know what the solution is. No, a great first step would be to impeach and remove Donald Trump from office as soon as we are politically able to do that. Unfortunately, we're not going to be able to do that anytime soon, if at all. I can't imagine anything that Trump could possibly do to have this Congress impeach him and remove him from office. I mean, I guess it's theoretically possible, but I can't practically think of anything. Realistically, the only chance we would have is huge victories in the midterms, and perhaps things looking much different politically at that point. If Republicans get their clocks cleaned in the midterms, that's all going to be Trump's fault. He's going to lose so much of his political influence. The next presidential election will be gearing up. I mean, Trump will be a political loser. So it's possible. It's possible, in the next Congress, but not anytime soon. So that would be a good first step. My point is, that would be a good first step, but that will not solve the problem. If anything, in the short term, it could exacerbate the problem. I mean, what happens if we successfully impeach and remove Donald Trump from office? Which we must. The rule of law demands us do that. And what if we are successful one day, a couple of years from now, in impeaching and removing him from office? What do you think would be the reaction of people like this psychopath?
His wife should be spoken to. He should be arrested. End of story. No more of this. No more of this.
Yeah, and
we can't have rhetoric like this anymore.
Yeah.
What happens? I mean, this is how this guy, they just won. Trump just took the oath of office just a few months ago. Look how angry and miserable these friggin' people are. And they control everything right now. Look at how unhinged these people are becoming over friggin' seashells. When I get riled up, I can't say seashells. Look at how insane they're getting over that. Over nothing. What happens when we impeach and remove their cult leader from office? So what I'm saying is, where do we go from here? How does this ever get any better? How does this ever get anything but worse? Because one of the biggest problems that we have in this society is media. Is the especially right-wing Trump cult propaganda media who feeds this kind of bullshit to their audience, because this is what makes them money. That's why Fox News does it. That's why Newsmax does it. That's why all these channels do it. It's about money. Yes, they kiss Trump's ass. They push his propaganda. Why? Because their audience demands it. If their audience turned completely against Donald Trump, do you think Fox News will continue to push Trump propaganda? No. They would go wherever their audience goes. They give their audience what they want. That's what we learned in the Dominion lawsuit. When Fox News was telling the truth about the election not being stolen, they were losing audience left and right. So they decided, you know what? We have to start giving our audience the bullshit lies about a stolen election that they demand, or we're going to go out of business. That's what they did. Anyway, this is what the audience demands. And it's only getting worse. It's not just Fox News and Newsmax. It's the podcasts. It's right-wing radio. It's the YouTube channels. It's the TikTok channels. It's all of this. That's not going to get any better. It's only going to get worse. They're flipping out over shells. Where do we go from here? How do we get along with these people? I mean, forget like these people or work, well together with these people. How do we even coexist with these people? I don't know what the answer is. I honestly don't. A lot of times I think, sometimes societies, countries, groups of people divide themselves along whatever lines, ideological lines, racial lines, cultural lines, whatever, but they're so deeply divided and there's so much hate between the two sides that they cannot coexist, and they must, break their chains, break their connection to those people and go their separate ways. um, you know, I'm at the point where, like, I wish we could do that, because I don't see this as a country that can survive like this. We are too deeply divided. But how do we divide this country up? You know, I wish there was an easy way to just say, you know what, let's divide this country up. You MAGAs, take that half. We'll be our own country over here. Good luck with all of that shit. You know, we're not gonna prop you up anymore, okay? Because that's what's going on financially in this country. The MAGA states are takers. The blue states give more in tax money to the federal government. These MAGAs take more. For so many reasons, I'm like, okay, yeah, you do your own thing. We're done with you, okay? Have fun in MAGAstan, or whatever the hell you're going to call your new country. But there's no easy way to divide this country, right? We live amongst each other. There's no clear dividing line. So the point is, I don't know how we go on. I don't know where this all goes. But something's got to give. We can't continue like this. And anything that cannot endure will not endure. This is going to come crashing down. I fear violently. I don't know what's going to happen, but we are primed. This is a powder keg. It's just going to take a spark. And if history has told us anything, those sparks, because there's been many such sparks throughout history, they're not foreseeable. They're things that nobody saw coming. Some event, some obscure event somewhere that just sets off a chain reaction, and boom, the whole thing goes up. That's what I feel, where I feel we're at right now. We're sitting on a powder keg. We cannot live like this. It cannot continue like this, and something's going to happen. This is just insanity. Anyway, thanks for watching. Talk to you again soon.